Morning, welcome to McDurmon Distributing's Product Update Series. My name is Fred Moser. I'm the Product Manager for McDurmon Distributing. I'm here this morning with Dave Westra from Polastorm Propellers. Today, we'd like to introduce to you our newest and innovative line of propellers from Polastorm. Polastorm is a company that has 100 years professional marine experience. And they use that experience to give us an unparalleled blade geometry in aluminum and stainless steel propellers. That, along with their precision casting, we end up with a propeller that is exceptional in terms of OEM geometry, strength, and endurance. They outperform by far any of the major competitors. There's four aspects we want to talk about. One of them is the APC casting, which is aerospace casting. Second, we want to talk about blade geometry. We want to talk about their hubs a little bit, and we want to talk about pricing today. So I'm going to start today, and I'm going to start with the precision casting. Dave, can you tell us what precision casting is and what are the benefits of that in terms of propeller geometry, strength, and what that means to our customers?
Yes, Fred. APC, aerospace precision casting, was developed for specific aerospace. And as time went on, we were able to license with aerospace precision casting. And aerospace precision casting, the bottom line is it gives you a stronger, better performing propeller. In details, it actually eliminates little tiny air pockets that are gotten or brought through like die casting, and even through different types of pressure casting. They get little bubbles in the aluminum, and aerospace precision casting removes that because of the pressure that they do. If a guy was a professional in casting 3 bars of pressure, which is extremely high pressure, so the tooling and everything is more expensive because of the pressure that we use. But like I said, the bottom line is the customer receives a better propeller and gets the performance he's looking for at a very cost-effective way to get it.
Excellent. In terms of, is there benefits in terms of that type of casting in terms of blade flex, holding the pitch true or nearly as close as say a stainless steel prop?
Yeah, what you'll find is there's tensile strength and there's elasticity to the aluminum. Many die-cast propellers don't have much elasticity, so when the blade starts to flex, it'll actually snap. And ours has tremendous amount of flex to it. We're able to do more with the shape in the ring, diffuser ring. We're able to do more in blade geometry and cupping and that. And so as you perform, typical aluminum, the blade will flex as performance, your RPM raises. Where like stainless, the benefit is the blade does not flex. With APC casting, we're also able to put in titanium into the aluminum. And everybody knows titanium is high performance. And so with the titanium, the casting process, our blade flexes less, so we get closer to stainless steel performance without having to hit your pocketbook with stainless steel price.
Let's talk about the blade geometry a little bit. I'm looking at some props that we have out here, and we have Polastorm propellers over here, and we have some of the other aftermarket props over here. And we're looking at all the same pitch, but what I see here is Polastorm has 3 different designs in the blade, but the competitors basically are using one design. So what is the benefit of the way Polastorm designs their blade geometry versus the aftermarket?
Okay, what you'll find is the OEM engine manufacturers know what their engines are capable of. You know, through the horsepower, the RPM, and also they have a gear ratio set up on the ratio from the crank speed to the propeller speed. And so each shape has to be different. Yamaha knows what their shape has to be, they know what they're capable of. And so if you start looking at some of the propellers in the competitors, they're all round ear propellers. If you happen to look at a propeller like this, you'll notice the shape difference here, and the corner is much sharper. what you'll have is what this is called like a semi-cleaver propeller. And it's specifically, this is our Yanta, and it's aimed at helping the Yamaha outboard perform the way Yamaha designed it to perform, and it's very similar to the Yamaha prop. And so this prop works on a Yamaha. Now, if you looked at this prop here, this is our Megara prop, which is very similar to the OEM Mercury. It's so similar, most people can't tell. And that's really good if you have a Mercury. But if you have this Mercury prop and you try to put it on the Yamaha, as you can see, the blade shape is so much different, Yamaha cannot handle it. It just, your RPM, if you were putting this on a Yamaha, pitch for pitch, say you were running a 19 pitch and you put a 19 pitch Megara on there, you'll find that your RPM will probably be about 600 RPM less. So then what you're going to end up with is customer dissatisfaction. They're going to say, that's not a good prop. Well, no, it's not the prop, it's the application. And here's a very unique situation. This is our SEMA prop. Okay, much less diameter, blade geometry, blade amount than the Megara. This is a Suzuki design. Okay, Suzuki, one, if you look at from the diffuser ring to the blade, you'll notice the blade is much higher, and that's called rake. Suzuki likes rake. Suzuki has extra amount of gear ratio built in there, which requires the rake, which requires the cupping that's built into it. If you added this cupping to the Yamaha propeller, for example, it doesn't work at all. And trust me, we tried it. We tried to outsmart Yamaha, and it didn't work. So this requires minimal cupping. This requires tremendous cupping. Mercury is kind of halfway in between for cupping. And there again, because of the diameters that this runs, because of the gear ratio, this prop won't work on either one. You put this prop pitch for pitch on a Yamaha, you're probably looking at 800 to 900 RPM too low. I mean, that customer is going to think something's wrong with their engine, and it's the application. They put the wrong propeller on the wrong engine. So you can't make one propeller work for 3 different applications. It has to be specifically to the engine. And if you have that, your customer's happy. If you bring it in, if your props are brought in this fashion, it's easier to sell because the customer looks at it and says, that looks just like my Yamaha. And they buy it. Versus if you bring it in and you tell them this, it's like, well, that's not right. And then if you tell them, well, I know you got a 19, but to run this one, you're going to have to run a 15 pitch on there. They don't like that either because they don't want to lose numbers. There's just something funny about it. So each customer has the way they want to do business. Let's turn around and give them what they want. Not what we want, but what they want.
So if I understand right, you're really taking the confusion out. The other designs, which if we look at the other aftermarket props, the design is basically the same on all 3 of them. So if a customer comes in and he has a bad prop and he has a 17 pitch prop and the dealer isn't aware that this is a compromise blade, he'll put that on, the customer's going to be unhappy and come back because the boat's not performing right. So you're taking the confusion out. We can replace a 17 with a 17, 15 with a 15 and know that it's going to work. Where with the other brands, that's probably not going to happen. We're probably going to have to take it to the lake and test it.
Yeah, and many times, you know, when somebody buys something and if a dealer doesn't have the product knowledge, and that's the whole purpose here, is the dealer turns around and just sells them a prop according to what the catalog said. And the catalog doesn't factor in, you get into a propeller shop, for example, they know the difference. And so if they were trying to put you into a generic prop, they would change that pitch. But most dealers don't have that experience because the prop comes on the boat today and that's what it's to be. So most dealers like to say, okay, let's go shape for shape. Let's not fool with it. And that's where we can provide that. The exact prop that Yamaha, Suzuki, Mercury have brought in, they can get and get a value out of it.
I notice you have some hubs here. I know you also have a unique hub design. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, what we have developed, for example, Mercury has a really good hub. It's flow torque, and a lot of people like the polymer design flow torque hub. It's been around for many years. It's made of a plastic polymer material. It's all its shape, everything else is built specific. It's got a specific part that slides in. Once you got that you slide it in the prop, and then you slide this in from the aft side to make it work. Okay, and this is good, but like many polymers, it has its limitation. And so what we've done is we've created a brass with rubber, or you can get, for low horsepower, aluminum with rubber. And it has a brass insert, very similar to what you're seeing here, but it's molded into it. And so with this design here, the rubber has a flex built into it, so that when you start to impact something, this gives a little bit. Also, with your outboard, say you have a 90 horse Yamaha or Mercury, and you put it in gear, and you get this and type thing, and what that is that polymer plastic is very rigid, and so you're actually hearing the gears clicking in there at low RPM. High RPM, it's not there. Will it hurt your engine? No, it won't hurt your engine, but it hurts your ears. So the rubber absorbs that. It's there to cushion. It fits very tight, and it just slightly cushions that. The rubber also has better give when you impact, so your impact is able to be higher with more give without damaging your driveline. We're not saying it won't damage your prop. The key is if your prop shaft and your drive shaft and your gears are okay, that's the bottom line. It's nice that this little part, which is available separately or in a kit, can save your driveline all the way up and save you thousands of dollars by utilizing something in this fashion. This kit and this kit fit the same Mercury engine, just that this one's in polymer, this one's in rubber, and this one has more give, this one has less give, but we manufacture this for the guy that wants polymer. It has a higher strength than the flow torque. It has more give, that when you hit the rock, it twists the plastic instead of fracturing as some of the other polymers that are out there. So it's a better hub, even though it looks just like the flow torque. This, though, will give your driveline the better security and bring you home after you have an impact with a rock.
One of the issues we've had as a distributor in shipping the hubs is the packaging. We get complaints from our customers when they open their package, pieces are landing all over the box because the cardboard box that the hub was shipped in has fallen apart. You have a unique system for that.
Yes, we designed a plastic clamshell. It's got a hole built into it so it can hang on a pegboard hook for display for a dealer. You can see the components inside. It has the number on here of what it is. So many shops, and I have an opportunity to visit shops, you go in there and you see their little cardboard box, and you open the cardboard box just like everybody does, and here you find out that a third to a half of the parts are missing. So an average customer grabs that box, goes up to the counter, pays for it, goes home, and finds out half his parts are missing. Here you can see all your parts, so when it goes up to the counter, the register person knows everything's there. So it's something, we look at it as, one, it doesn't fall apart. Two, you can open and close this multiple times, so a dealer could open that up, turn around and show all the pieces that are setting in there. Everything is all molded in for your shape. The nut, the tab, your spacer sits inside there. And I should have put everything in the right order, but everything's set, closes back up, and your dealer can hang it back on the wall. Or like I said, when it goes to the store, to the register, they can look at it and say, it's there. So they know the customer, when he gets home to put it on, is happy because he has all the parts and doesn't have to come back. And with today's gas prices, we know that's hard on the pocketbook, and just the inconvenience, and a happy customer is a good customer.
When the consumer comes in to buy that hub and he wants to take it home, does he know the correct procedure for putting it together?
Yes, what we've done is spent a lot of time. We created a good instruction sheet here. We put this into every single propeller box or hub box that gives you all the details of making sure it's the right one for the right application, and then pictures and everything. So for us guys, we can look at the picture and put it together, and our wife can look at the verbiage and turn around and say, yep, you did it right, honey. And so we want to make sure that you don't end up with two thrust washers on. And we've seen that many times when you take off the OEM and that washer kind of sticks onto the shaft. It's something, here it tells you through the pictures that you only need one thrust washer. Take that original one off, put the new one on that's made for the application, and you're going to be very successful.
I know yesterday as we talked and we're showing that hub kit, I actually took the package and we threw it around the table just to see if we could get it to open. We could not get it to fail.
Yeah, this package has been opened many a times, and as you could hear it clicking back together again, so you go to hang it on that pegboard hook, it's not going to open up and pieces start falling out. And so again, reiterating that the customer is going to get all the pieces he needs in the first trip that he made.
I noticed you have some propellers over here that we haven't actually seen before. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Okay, we have very unique propellers. Like this one here has been around the industry for a period of time, but it's been exclusive to one manufacturer. Okay, now its patents aren't there anymore. We're able to take and utilize a very unique prop. If you notice, the barrel diameter is huge. And part of it is, this is designed for heavy barges. It's designed for pontoons so that when you go to back up, that the water is able to pass through, but your exhaust comes out, and so as you're going, the exhaust has a place to escape. If you ever watch the movie Beverly Hills Cop, and he's sitting there, and he goes up to that vehicle and he stuffs a banana in the tailpipe. Okay, play 10, when you're going backwards, without this type of design, you just stuffed a banana into your exhaust system. Engines don't burn carbon monoxide, your engine starts choking down, you start losing the ability to back up. This gives you that ability to back up because your exhaust is able to escape out and around it. You lose a little bit of forward performance, but with pontoons, as you're trying to dock and get everything right, it's worth sacrificing a fraction of forward for awesome reverse capability. And this is available to your Yamaha, Suzuki, it's available to Honda, Mercury, any of them, where before it was basically available only to Yamaha. Now it's available to all of them. And it's due to the ability to put a hub, interchangeable hub in there. And we make it in two fashions where you can get this with the hub in and it automatically fits Yamaha and Suzuki without changing any hardware. As we introduce the hardware kit, okay, that was designed with other ones where you put the kit in from this side and it fits all the engines with kits, but the kits are a little more expensive. So if you're able to reduce your cost by getting this way designed for multiple engines, your Yamaha, your Suzuki, and actually Honda, you can turn around and save quite a bit of money. And the bottom line is, if you can walk out of the store saving a little bit of money, your dealer makes the same amount of money, just not having to worry if the guy puts two thrust washers on. So this comes off and the new one goes on without any confusion whatsoever. Now, we have here a low pitch prop for, say, roughly 50 horsepower engines, what we call a 3 1/4 inch gear case. This particular one is white. Okay, this prop here, in most cases, in the semi-cleaver, will come in white, unless it's ordered specifically in black. This prop comes in white. We know it fits Yamaha. Yamaha loves white on this area. This is called the QDIB-C, and that's a quick drop-in. It bolts on just like the original prop. If you took off the 12 1/4 by 9 pitch original Yamaha propeller, you can take this one and put it right back on there because it's all designed for it. Now the nice thing with the QDIB-C is you can turn around and pop this hub out and buy just the blade if that's what you want to do and save yourself a little bit of money because the hub is reusable, just like you see in the kits here. And when I say the hub, this basically is the hub that's inside there. It's, again, rubber like we talked about. It has that little bit of flexibility and everything, the durability, and in some cases is much better than some of the plastics that are out there on the market. Again, we have more sizes and everything else. This particular one happens to be set up specifically for a Yamaha shape. And it's designed, this one's a 13 pitch, which is pretty standard on like a 50 horse Yamaha. And this prop here again has that hub that you can pull out. It bolts on identical to the OEM, so it's something, it's simple. And when the customer walks in and he sets his white beat up propeller down on the counter and you pull out and set a nice white beautiful propeller on the counter with the same shape and everything else, that Yamaha customers, that's what I want. And the deal is made. Where if you turn around and set a black one down there with all kinds of funny shapes to it, and he's a Yamaha customer, he's going to think about it. He's going to hesitate. And then you've got to sell him on wanting to buy that prop. And most people don't like to be sold. People like to buy. You know, it's like when you walk in a store and somebody goes, "Fred, can I help you?" First thing you say is, "No, I'm just looking right now." And it's something, because they want to buy when they want to buy, and if you have what they want, they're going to buy it. And that makes it simple.
It makes sense. As a consumer, you know, my thinking would be, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it's a duck. But if it doesn't do those things, it is not a duck. So I'm looking at these three props, and from the consumer's standpoint, if you take this prop off my boat, and then you sell me this one, it does not look the same. I'm going to be concerned right away. Same thing with the colors. We run into that issue at the distributorship. Color is extremely important to the consumer. Even though it doesn't affect how the propeller performs, it does affect in their mind. They're not getting the product that they want. They want something as close to OEM, and that brings me to the next part of the segment, which is pricing. The pricing on the Polastorm brand is extremely good for you. We're looking at savings up to 26%, 22, 26, sometimes a little bit higher. So I'd urge you to look at our website, take a look at the Polastorm brand, consider it for your next purchase. Dave, is there anything else you want to add?
Well, to go along with that price, you know, it's something, if you get a really cheap price, but it's not what you want, it's not a good deal. And so I like to refer to it more as a value, you know, that you get what you want for a price program that you want to pay, and you walk out happy. And that's the value that you can get through Polastorm propellers.
Also, we're going to be sending out this year to each one of our dealers, we'll be sending out the Polastorm catalog with a full line. We'll be adding to this line. We're also going to be adding another series video to the videos, which will be on stainless steel props. That'll be shortly after the first of the year. I'd like to thank Dave for helping us today, introduce the product. Thank you for listening, and we'll look forward to hearing from you on the phone and on our website. Thank you.
Thank you.